Actually, we're going to be talking about a little oven that goes with that radius unit a little bit later. But for now, during the break, what we've done is we cut off the angle on that side, and in doing so, we found out that this top is out
about 3/4
of an inch out. But I mean, we have to build it obviously to the way the counter is below it. We're not going to change anything, so we just have to do a little fudging as we go. So what we've done is Ken stopped right in here, and he stopped right in here, and now we've put a straight edge right along this, and Ken actually had to remind me that we set this back 1/16 of an inch here because our template guide holds the router bit away from the straight edge 1/16 of an inch. So if you want to go ahead and finish routing that, we can go on with our radiuses next. Well, that's almost perfect. It's a little bit off.
We'll have to feather slightly with the sander.
Feather it in. Yeah.
But that'll be very easy.
Well, yeah, but now keep in mind, when we rabbit this, we're going back in a little bit more than 1/2 an inch. Our drop edge will set in, and we're actually going to run a bearing cutter right along that radius.
So yeah, we want to make sure that it's okay. Oop, there we go. Well, let's take that in just a little bit more, because I can certainly do that.
Yeah, much better.
Okay,
Much better.
okay, good.
Of course, actually, we do want this fairly flat because when we run our rabbiting bit on here, it's going to have a wave in it. So it does have to be fairly close.
All right, the last thing we have to do is to cut our corners.
Oh, but we don't cut any corners here.
No, we never do. So we have here just a simple radius. I have your 31 inch, please. And for that, quite simply, all we're going to do is we have these perfect seam straight edges, which they're great because they interlock right together. You can see it was that simple. And we'll do the same thing. All we have to do is really place it on our lines, like that, and it's all set for a cutback. We'll put our clamps right on like that.
Now, one thing I noticed that you had mentioned when we were talking about the segment was you call it a cutback. Is that standard lingo for doing what we're doing now, doing the radiuses, and is that standard?
I would say it's standard lingo in New England where I come from.
Okay, all right.
One thing that really you'll find as you get around the industry, depending on what part of the country you're from, people will use different terms and different phrases. You know, I know you call this a template guide. I call it a collar guide.
Okay.
Once again, just a phrase that we use back where I'm from, the Boston area. So there are little variations, and just requires, I guess, a little
people
flexibility.
from Boston are odd anyway.
Well,
so.
That's true, but we love it.
At least if you're a representation, they are.
Once again, that's a nice, simple 2-inch radius. And of course, these straight edges, a great feature to them. Thanks, Kick. A great thing about these is you can just flip them over, and voila, you're ready to go from the other direction.
Voila.
Voila.
Voila. So we're setting back a 16th here. So actually on this one we're setting right on the line, aren't we? Because we're set back 16th
Correct.
from the
We
line.
want to be right on the line with our
Yep.
template. The great thing about New Englanders, they're just wonderful people, though. You should have seen the person I met from North Tonawanda.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Here, you want to go ahead and cut that?
Sure.
And you should be able to start right on the face. Now,
I feel like I ought to have advertising on my back.
something I want to point out is I don't know if you couldn't see because John blocked your view a little bit, but that cut was actually a very easy one to make. Typically, when I would do an edge, I would cut back the majority of my material with the saw to about 1/8 of an inch from my finished lines. That way, once you have this set up, it's only removing a 1/16 of material, and that cut that you made was very simple in comparison to some of the cuts I was making where I was actually hogging out a 1/2 inch channel.
Yeah, but that spiral bit cut right through it.
Oh no, spiral bit's great, there's no question about it. Okay, so now,
Okay, Alice, what's next?
where's Alice? We have, okay, we have our top now blanked out. We have, we haven't cut off that back wall, but we can do that later on. But all of our finished edges are 1/16 of an inch oversized.
Right.
We have our sinkhole cut out and centered. So we're really all set now to flip this over. Now to do that,
And since it's not stone, we don't need a crane to do it.
no, we can actually do this. One person can actually do it by himself.
Okay, now we're going to have to reverse these. So do you want me to come over there and you come over here?
Exactly. We'll just lift it right up, and you can walk around the end, and I'll walk away this way, and we'll lay it right over.
All right.
Okay, bring it right up on
Going this way?
Yep, watch it. Stand
Yeah,
right up.
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Excellent. Okay. Look at that.
Very good.
Okay, go ahead, walk it right around.
Thanks, audience member.
Keep it up straight, though. Keep it up straight. Keep it up straight.
Oh, I'm
There
sorry.
we go.
I'm sorry.
You don't want to lay solid surface flat like that because that joint could break on us. Okay, let go. Just let go. I'll walk it right around. Okay, now we're going to put it down.
Hold on. Let me get around here.
Okay, and let's lay it right over. Great. That was simple.
I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sand in this because we're going to have to run our...
Actually, you can just take your level and run your leveler right over that.
Yeah, that's true. You want
That
to
way we don't
it
rip
right
up the
behind you.
paper.
Right behind you there, Ken.
And there it is. Yep. There we go. Now these are actually the seams that we pulled. John will clean those right up.
Yeah, let me come from behind so we can... I guess our audience would kind of like to see what we're doing rather than me blocking the shot. Would you plug that in for
I
me?
can certainly do that.
All right. All right, we're going to take that. I'm going to...
And once again, it doesn't really need to be flat. It just needs not to have any bumps so when we glue our seam block down that it's fully contacted.
Holy Contact. Is that like Holy Contact, Batman?
Fully contact.
Come on, come on. We're live here, buddy. I was ready to go. I had my hand on the trigger. Just make sure there's nothing in the way there. Okay.
Okay, good. Of course, we need to get some support over here so we don't break our top.
Right.
There we go. Okay, now we're pretty much set. The next three steps that we have is one, we have to cut our rabbet in here for the straight edge or the edge, because there are a couple ways to put the edge on a countertop. One way is a stack edge, which it's 3 layers, just literally stacked up.
Right.
One of the layers being the deck. However, the way we're going to do it on this top is we're going to do a vertical drop edge.
Okay, now on a vanity though, a lot of times they'll just do a 1-inch build up.
Correct.
So you just have one
Just a
stack
single
on here. Just looks a little nicer on a smaller top, I think.
Exactly, because the scale is a bit more appropriate. We have that to do. We also have the bowl to put on.
Right.
And then our secondary wood build up, as well as our seam supports that we've got to get in here.
You really don't have to put those in, do you?
That's what some people think, but if you're concerned about the manufacturer warranty, yeah, you're concerned about that.
Okay.
Those are the steps we have to do. And the way we really want to do it is, first it's important that we do our cut in first, primarily because... The rabbet. If we don't do the rabbet first, we
Why do you suppose they call it a rabbet?
Well, because it sounds funny if you call it a squirrel.
Okay.
So, but we'll do that first, because otherwise we might not get the router past the bowl if we glued the bowl on first.
That could be a problem.
That, I would think so. So we need to do that. Now what we want to do is the sander that you just had, we can
just clean that up a little bit?
Clean those up just a little bit.
Okay.
While you do that, I'll get the router out.
All right.
That we're going to use.
And maybe show the folks at home the rabbet that we're going to use.
I will do that.
Actually, I'm going to have to wear my
Your
real
safety goggles?
glasses. My real glasses.
So you can see what you're doing.
Yeah.
The router that we're going to use for this process is the, let me lock it down here. There it goes. The router that we're going to use is going to be the Festool 2000. It's a 3 1/4 inch horsepower router. It's a production router, so it can usually handle the big jobs without any trouble at all. The ergonomic features really make it comfortable to use. The handles that are set at the natural position of your wrist, the angle, just a lot of nice features, not the least being the variable speed. However, for this process, we're going to be using this rabbeting bit made by Amana. The great thing about this bit is it actually comes with, you buy
like
extra.
this.
It comes like this, and you buy the extra bearings.
There's a 5-piece bearing collar, and there's a 21-piece.
And the 21-piece comes in 1/16 of an inch increments.
I believe that's what it is, yes.
And the great thing about this is, if you're going to be engaged in any process where you need to do much in the way of rabbeting, by buying this bit and the 21-piece, you're covering everything.
Right.
Certainly the 5-piece will cover a pretty good breadth of rabbeting, but for what we need, the bearing that came on the sander is going to be quite adequate.
How about the one on the router? Was that adequate too?
Yeah, what did I say? The one on the sander? Well, I'm still learning my tools, so bear with me. I'm going to go to my trailer.
I think by now, anybody who's watching the show that's watched it before just considers the source.
That's right. They know I'm screwed up, so that's a good way to start.
Okay.
So we'll start the cut from the back, run it all around the front, and run out the back edge on the other side, since this is finished on all 4 sides.
Okay. All right, I'll tell you what, we've got 1 minute, so if you want to go ahead and start that, we'll go to break while we're doing this, and when we come back, it'll be done.
Okay. Okay, well, get our check.
Okay. Now you're going down 3/16.
Yep. So,
Okay, and move that away to turn it on.
Oop. Didn't set the depth. I was going to show how we could use this gauge right here.
Oh, okay.
But I may have to wait till after a break commercial. Okay. What it is I want a 3/16 depth. I've set this to where it's flush with this right now. So all I have to do is take this now, lock it at that depth right there.
Right,
Then, by taking whatever measuring point I want here,
right.
I can then mark the additional depth just by measuring the drop there. And we can show them how we do it right after the commercial. It's a real simple process.
Okay, very
All right,
good. We'll be
so
right
see you
back.
just in a minute.